It appears, thanks to President Trump, that we are entering a new time in which those who lost their right to bear arms due to a felony conviction or a state misdemeanor conviction that falls under the federal definition of a felony can get their firearm rights restored through an administrative process. You are definitely going to want to stick around for this video, as we are going to discuss what Attorney General Pam Bondi and the Trump administration has done, and it is the first time in over 30 years, so stay tuned. Hello and welcome to the Firearm Firm channel. I'm your host, James Phillips, a former prosecutor and a practicing Second Amendment attorney. Today we have huge news for those who are prohibited from possessing a firearm or ammunition under 18 U.S.C. 922G. Today, the Department of Justice released Granting of Relief Federal Firearms Privileges, which will be published tomorrow, April the 29th of 2025, in the Federal Register. Now, what is interesting about this is the relief granted to a set number of people listed in the Federal Register tomorrow it's not something new. Instead, it is something that has been around but has been strategically blocked by Congress since 1992. I'm talking about the relief that is granted in 18 U.S.C. 925C, which reads, "A person who is prohibited from possessing, shipping, transporting, or receiving firearms or ammunition may make application to the Attorney General for relief from the disabilities imposed by federal laws with respect to the acquisition, receipt, transfer, shipment, transportation, or possession of firearms, and the Attorney General may grant such relief if it is established to his or her satisfaction that the circumstances regarding the disability and the applicant's record and reputation are such that the applicant will not be likely to act in a manner dangerous to public safety and that the granting of the relief would not be contrary to the public interest. Any persons whose application for relief from disabilities is denied by the Attorney General may file a petition with the United States District Court for the district in which he resides for judicial review of such denial. The court may, in its discretion, admit additional evidence where failure to do so would result in a miscarriage of justice. A licensed importer, licensed manufacturer, licensed dealer, or a licensed collector conducting operations under this chapter who makes application for relief from the disabilities incurred under this chapter shall not be barred by such disability from further operations under his license, pending final action on an application for relief filed pursuant to this section. Whenever the Attorney General grants relief to any person pursuant to this section, he or she shall promptly publish in the Federal Register notice of such action together with the reasons therefor. The reason why I say this mechanism has been strategically blocked by Congress since 1992 is because ATF was historically delegated with overseeing the firearm restoration process. But in 1992, under the Consolidated Appropriations Act, Congress prevented ATF from receiving any funding whatsoever to handle the restoration of firearms process. Now, to get around this issue, President Trump removed the overseeing by ATF specifically and moved it to the Department of Justice generally. Therefore, there is nothing preventing funding for this process. Now, this is just one of several indicators that Trump is sticking to his pledge to protect the Second Amendment. So let's take a look at the two-page document that will be published tomorrow in the Federal Register. As you can see, the Department of Justice is the agency, and the action is Notice of Granting of Restoration of Federal Firearms Privileges. The summary: the Attorney General has granted relief from disabilities imposed by federal law with respect to certain individuals regarding the acquisition, receipt, transfer, shipment, transportation, or possession of firearms or ammunition. Now, if we look at the supplemental information, it pretty much just goes over what is required under 18 U.S.C. 925C. So I'm not going to read it, but you can take a look at it. There at the end on the second page, we see a list of names of those who relief has been granted, including Mel Gibson, which some of you have probably already seen on television or in the news discussing that. As we can see, it was dated April the 18th of 2025 by Todd Blanche, Deputy Attorney General. And the very last thing is it is set for publication tomorrow, April the 29th of 2025. So congratulations to all of those listed above in this document. What I expect is we're going to start seeing more and more publications similar to this with more and more names. So again, this is a huge victory to the 2A community. Be sure to let us know if you think it's a victory for the 2A community or not down in the comments section below, where you can also leave any questions you may have about this video or any other Second Amendment or self-defense related question. Until next time, stay armed and educated.